Well, what's up there, guys? Brian here, the Three Topics Gamer, and I have a rather unusual prediction video that I don't usually do on my channel because I don't usually talk about wrestling. But WrestleMania 41 is happening here in my city of Las Vegas, and it'll actually be located about less than 5 miles away from where I actually work, so that's pretty cool. And I just thought I'd just do just a general prediction video and just go over each of the matches for both nights and just share who I think and should win each of the individual matches. So if you do happen to enjoy this little prediction video by the end, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to track me in all my future reviews, as well as if you guys have any ideas for videos you'd like me to do in the future, just let me know what you'd like to see in the comments down below, and I will try to get them up to as soon as I can, as well as to give you a shout out. So, WrestleMania, we have, as it stands right now, 7 matches on one night, 6 on the other. However, there is one matchup that I don't think they've announced yet, because I am recording this about 5 days before I'm recording this before the next SmackDown. So there's like one more matchup that I think will be added to the second night, which I'll go into that when I get to that night. So starting off with night 1, we've got 7 matches. I think this is a pretty solid list, so let's go down the list. First match we have here is Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I think Jade Cargill. I think she's gonna win this matchup. I mean, I think the feud is starting. I think you'll get at least 3 matches out of this, and this is just gonna be the first one. But you can't have Jade lose this one. If it were something else, I think I wish there was like an extra stipulation to make it a little bit more interesting. But I just expect it to be a pretty solid match. Nothing too special, but I'm thinking Jay's going to take the win here. Next, we have Rey Mysterio taking on El Grande Americano, and I like what they're doing with El Grande. This is another matchup that I can see going over the course of several matches, at least 3 pay-per-views, and this is just the first one. Realistically, you could have either Rey or El Grande win, but I think they want to keep El Grande's momentum going. So I'm going to give El Grande the win here, and again, this will continue on for like 2 more pay-per-views, and then you'll have like a final. I think you'll have like an unmasked mass like matchup down the road. I think that's where it'll eventually lead up to. So I do think El Grande will take the win here. Next, you have the United States Championship with LA Knight taking on Jacob Fatu. This one is interesting because LA Knight just got the championship back from an underwhelming feud with Shinsuke. And so the question is, do you put it on him just for him to lose it immediately, or do you give it to Jacob after just giving it to him? Here, I see 2 outcomes of how this matchup is going to play out. I personally think Jacob is going to win. I think he's going to win the tag. I think he's going to win the United States Championship, and then he's going to get into a feud with Solo. Now, you could do, because that's clearly where that storyline is leading. Now, the question is, when do you have the feud start? Do you have Solo cost Jacob the match here, and then we jump immediately into it? Or do you have Jacob win the United States Championship, Solo gets jealous because he feels like, well, you should be following my orders, then Jacob's like, I shouldn't. Because I absolutely do believe that Jacob is the type of person who can be elevated to a world championship level. I think he absolutely will be able to do that. And so you give him a mid-card championship and then you build him up moving forward. Or do you have him win the title and then Solo cost him it? And then that leads to the feud down the road. You could go in those 2 directions, but personally, I think Jacob is going to get the win here. That's just what makes sense to me, so I'm going with him to win the new United States Championship. Next, you have the World Tag Team Championship with the War Raiders taking on the New Day. The War Raiders have had it long enough, and they've been in like a few decent matches with the Judgment Day, but it hasn't really been anything special. And you really want to keep the New Day's momentum going. So I say that the New Day will win and become the new World Tag Team Championship. That's what I'm going with. Next, you have the WWE Women's Championship with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. Dear God, the build-up to this has been a mess, but there is a potential for the matchup to work. This is another one where I'm conflicted as for which direction you go. Do you give Tiffany the win to give her more credibility, because you could always have Charlotte win it later, or do you give Charlotte the championship now, and then it kind of feels like Tiffany never deserved it in the first because she only got the championship because of Money in the Bank? Personally, I think Tiffany is going to get the win here, but it's going to be kind of cheapish. It's going to be like she's get like like a roll up or something. It's gonna, like, Charlotte's gonna feel like she was cheated out of a loss, and then you could at least have like another match, and then Charlotte wins it down the road. I think with no question Charlotte is going to win the championship down the road, because I'm pretty sure she's gonna have a match with Jade. I think Jade is going to be in a feud with Naomi for at least 3 pay-per-views, and then once Jade is done with Naomi, she'll go and take on Charlotte. I think Charlotte and Jade it's inevitable. So it's just, when do you give Charlotte the belt? I don't think she needs the belt now. I think you have her just give Tiffany a cheap one and then have her lose it later. So I'm a little uncomfortable, but I'm gonna say Tiffany squeezes out a win here. Next, you have the World Heavyweight Championship with Gunther taking on Jey Uso. Believe it or not, I think this is the match that's going to open up night 1. I think so. And I think that with the buildup of how it's been over the last 2 weeks, it certainly has improved. I think Jey Uso is going to get the win here. The question is he going to be another one of these champions who actually gets the title, and then once they lose it, they fall back into the mid-card? I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. This kind of feels like Kofi Mania all over again, where he's really hot right now, and he'll have like a short, maybe 3 to 4 month title run, and then he'll eventually lose it, and then he'll fall back into the mid card. I think that'll happen, but I do think Jey will get the win here. Next, we have the main event of night 1, and you have the triple threat with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. The build-up has been very spectacular over these last 3 months in a number of ways. But I think Seth Rollins is going to get the win here, and he's going to walk out with Paul Heyman. Roman doesn't need to win, and even if he did, he's not going to be, he typically doesn't stay around after WrestleMania. He typically goes away for a bit, so I don't see Roman winning, and I don't even see Roman taking the pin here. I actually see Seth Rollins pinning CM Punk somehow. Because the whole point with the whole CM Punk main event thing was CM Punk always wanted to main event a WrestleMania, but he never said he had to win. So my gun is saying that Seth Rollins is going to win and walk out with Paul Heyman. So that's how I think night 1 is going to end. Now we go to night 2. We have AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I do not really like Logan Paul as a person in general, but I do acknowledge that he is a hard worker and he can put on some pretty spectacular matchups given how little time he's actually been in the WWE. And I don't want to see AJ Styles lose. So my heart says I want AJ Styles to win, but something tells me Logan Paul's going to get the win. But I would not be surprised if AJ Styles wins, because I think Logan Paul has won like the last 2 WrestleManias he's been in. So I think it might be time for him to lose. But I want AJ Styles to win, but I think Logan Paul is going to take it. Next, we have the Sin City Street Fight with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this one. The build-up has been underwhelming, but the fact that it's a street fight means that there is a massive amount of potential for this to steal the show. If it had just been a regular match, then I wouldn't have thought much of it. But the fact that it's a street fight, this could be something special. This is the type of matchup that I think both men are going to come out looking very, very well. But I do think Drew McIntyre is going to take the win here. But I do think that Damian Priest is going to still come out looking very, very good. I would expect this is kind of something similar to like WrestleMania 22's Edge and McFoley matchup. It might not be that good, but it's a type of matchup that there's not like a spectacular build to it, but both men came out looking really, really good. Next, we have the Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way between Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Finn Balor. I see 2 outcomes for this. Personally, I want Braun Breaker to retain, but the way I see him retaining, the 2 ways, bottom line, I think Finn's going to get pinned. But I think either Finn is going to get pinned one of 2 ways. Either there's going to be a moment where Finn is about to win and Dominic stops him, and then that leads Braun Breaker to spear Finn and get the win. Or I see something where Braun Breaker is going to spear Finn, and then at the last minute, Dominic is going to like throw Braun out, and then he's going to pin Finn and win. So either Braun retains by pinning Finn, or Dominic wins by pinning Finn. I think it's going to happen one of those 2 ways. I would be fine with both ways, but I'm hoping that Braun is going to take it. I'm not sure if you need Dominic having the title, him getting into a feud with Finn, because I've heard that they've been teasing that they're going to add some new members. So obviously, I think Finn is going to get kicked out, and I'm not sure if you need the belt for that. I think that just by Dominic costing Finn, that might be enough to cause a feud between those two. So I'm going with Braun winning here, but I would not be surprised if Dominic walked out the winner. Next, you have the Women's Tag Team Championship. You have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Bayley and Lyra Valkyrie, I think. I think the whole Bayley Lyra tag team, it's not been very strong. It looks like they just kind of put that together at the last minute. So I think Liv and Raquel are going to retain. But I do think that something's going to happen between Bayley and Lyra that will lead to those two clashing together, because there's one major flaw in WWE, and that is that the mid-card women's championships have been they felt very forgettable. I think the way you elevate them is that you put the belts on certified main eventers that have multiple world championships, and you use them to elevate the title, and that will force the rest of the talent to have to step up their game. So I do think that Liv and Raquel will retain, but down the road, Bayley and Lyra will have a match, and then Bayley will become a future Intercontinental Champion. Next, you have the WWE Women's World Championship triple threat between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. Up until recently, I really thought Io was going to retain. I don't see Rhea winning here because she just lost it, so I don't see them just hot potatoing the championship. And I was really confused as to why Bianca Belair was in this matchup, because she's a SmackDown superstar. What is she doing going up against why is she going in for a Raw championship? But then I looked and I realized that the draft is shortly after WrestleMania. So now that I know that, I actually feel comfortable. You can actually have undisputed WWE Championship between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. I feel without a doubt that John Cena not only should win, he has to win. He is going to win his 17th title and not only should he win, he should beat Cody so badly that Cody goes away for like 3 or 4 months. I'm sure The Rock will interfere and get involved in some way, because The Rock has completely disappeared since Elimination Chamber. But I just feel like you get more with John Cena winning than Cody Rhodes. I mean, if you look at like the next number of pay-per-views, like you don't get anything with Cody winning. And with a heel champion John Cena, like there's so many opportunities and so many directions you could go. There's so many matches that you could do at that point if he has the belt. If Cena doesn't have the belt, then there's no reason to have those matches. And I'm a firm believer that the true markings of someone who is really the face of the company, someone who is a true main event world championship title talent, is not when they win the world championship once. It's if they can get it back after losing it. Because there's so many examples of people only getting the world championship once and then they fall back into the mid card. But I don't think Cody is gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen to Cody. I think Cody will lose it, and then he can get it back later down the road. And I think it would be great if both of his world championship victories were against Roman Reigns, and then he wins it back from John Cena. I think that's a great way to solidify Cody as the guy of the company. So yeah, without question, I think John Cena is going to win, but he has to win. And heck, I'm so excited that if Cena wins, I will actually spend a good $500 to actually get an original style WWE Championship spinner belt, because I've wanted a spinner belt since I started watching wrestling. So that is my prediction for WrestleMania 41. I would love to hear what your predictions are in the comments down below. Be sure to share them with me and everyone else in the comments down below also. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you guys next time.